Good evening, Rogers Park Middle School families. Today I'm going to briefly review how your son and daughter can access our ESPA and NGSS testing from home. This quick tutorial guide will show you steps on how they could log in, how they can communicate with their teachers during testing, and how they can log out while they are at home completing the ESPA and NGSS testing. We start testing on Tuesday, May 4th. Once again, we are starting our testing on Tuesday, May 4th. The schedule is going to look different for the next 2 weeks to accommodate the ESPA and NGSS state testing. We made sure to reflect all changes to the schedule in PowerSchool. Some things that you will experience and your son and daughter will experience during the state testing for the next 2 weeks is that the bell schedule will look different. Teachers will post asynchronous work for those students who will not be testing, and that will be posted in their Google Classroom. 6th and 7th grade students will take a total of 3 state tests, while the 8th graders will take a total of 4 tests. Some of the things that you may notice as well is that we are testing the blue students, the blue cohort students, when they are in person, along with some of the distant learners who are testing at home. And then we will be testing the cohort orange students in person, along with some of the distant learners who will be testing at home. And so this bell schedule that you see here will also be reflected in PowerSchool, and you could also access it from this PowerPoint. If you are a distant learner who is testing in person, that means you have opted to take your test in person. You have already communicated with the school about this. You will be testing over the course of 2 weeks total. That's a total of 10 days plus additional days depending on if you need additional time. And these are your times. You will be coming into school from 1 to 2:25 to test in person. This is only for distant learners who have chosen to take their state testing in person. Devices. Now, there is a lot of information the students need to know if they will be using a personal device when testing from home. If a student comes to school, they will use a school computer to take the test if their computer does not work for state testing. However, if they are a distant learning student who has chosen to stay at home to complete the test, there's a couple of steps they need to follow to ensure that they are able to access the test from home. If they are a distant learner student who has a personal Chromebook, that means they use their own personal device, a personal Chromebook, they have been asked to come to school to pick up a loaner computer for testing purposes, and then they will have to return that loaner computer once testing has been completed. We have already reached out to those students and they already know who they are. When you are testing from home on a personal device, I know that students went over this with their teachers the other day, so I'm not going to go into full detail about this. But if you click on this link, it will help you check the speed of your internet to make sure that your bandwidth is prepared to handle the state testing. You will also need to make sure that you download the correct secure browser. But in order to do that, you need to know what type of operating system you have. And here are some different images depending on the type of computer you have at home to help you download the correct operating system. Now for the secure browser, once you've determined what type of operating system you have, this is how you would download the secure browser onto your computer. You would type that link into your search engine and then follow the instructions, or you could click on the link and follow the instructions. Once again, the teachers have gone over this in length in class this week, and many of these resources have been posted in your Google Classroom. The students have also viewed different training videos that will help them remember how to log into the test, how to communicate with their teachers while they are testing, and how to log off of the test. Attached this PowerPoint, the next couple of slides, provide you with a ton of information as far as how to communicate with your teachers when you are home, how to log into the test when you are home, in addition to how to complete the sign-in process when you are home. The videos are in English and in Spanish. So depending on your primary language, you are able to watch the videos and have a better understanding of how to complete the test when testing from home. Once again, if you have any questions, you know that your teachers are always here for you. Dr. Zalita, Mrs. Battaglia, and Ms. Perez are always here for you, so please do not hesitate to reach out to us for any questions. In addition to the videos, we've provided some images, some step-by-step instructions on how to, once again, download the secure browser, how to sign into the test, what steps you need to take in order to sign into the test, and then what you'll see when you're waiting for your teacher to approve you. All of the distant learners who are testing from home will not have an opportunity to communicate with their teacher during the sign-in process, which is why we are providing all of this information so that the students are able to independently sign into the test and then wait for their teacher's approval. Once they've been approved to start taking the test, they will have access to cameras and they will have access to microphones and text messaging to communicate with their teacher during the test. It is a state requirement that all students have their cameras on during testing. Once again, the state is requiring all students to have their cameras on during the test session. And we will require all students to have their cameras on during the test session. The next couple of slides show how the students can have their audio and video on. Then it also shows what the students will see once they are entered into a remote test. Provide some examples of how the students can communicate with the teacher, how they can raise their hand, how their video is on and off and their microphone is on and off. The teachers also can communicate with all students and individual students during the test as well. Teachers will be able to send out a broadcast message to all of the students and can individually communicate with students. The teachers also have the ability to share their screen as well as the students to answer any questions the students may have during testing. Once the student is done with remote testing, they will hit End Test, and then they will be prompted to see, are they done in fact with all of the questions. Some questions that have flags means that the student might have flagged that question because they wanted to go back to it later. This is an opportunity where they could go back to those questions and check their responses to make sure that they are confident in how they answered that question. And if they are good, all they have to do is click that green button that says Submit Test. Once they hit the green button that says Submit Test, they will see that the test was submitted, and then they will hit the Log Out button. Once again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact the school or to reach out to any of your teachers, the school counselors, or Dr. Zalita, Mrs. Battaglia, or Ms. Perez. We are here to help you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.